I know what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna make a new Thomas Minis draft. So if you remember around a year ago, I did a Thomas Minis draft on the hit Cartoon Network show Adventure Time, showing what a Minis format could look like for that series. Thanks to the inspiration of Express Bean 64's Ninjago Thomas Minis video, he also did a Pokemon one, which, by the way, you should go watch, please. He put a lot of work into that. But I've had a bunch of other ideas for Thomas Minis myself, whether that be the worlds of Marvel or Star Wars, but I also kind of want to do another cartoon one because, well, I love cartoons. And considering Nickelodeon has already had an official collab with SpongeBob, and I did one for Adventure Time, it seems only natural that I should complete the trifecta and do one for Disney Channel. And there's a lot of really good options of fantastic cartoons, but if they were gonna do one, realistically, it would be the 2007 hit Phineas and Ferb. The show about two stepbrothers, Phineas and Ferb, making the most out of their summer's days by building crazy things. Meanwhile, their sister Candace is trying to bust them, and their pet platypus is a secret agent trying to stop the evil Dr. Doofenshmirtz. It's a fantastic show. It's very funny, it's got a really lovable cast of characters, and it's just a really pleasant series to watch overall. I've been recently rewatching the show because I'm working on a big video on my second channel, which you guys should totally sub to, by the way, if you want to hear me talk about something that isn't Thomas the Tank Engine for once. If you're a fan of something like Ninjago, or Marvel, or Cartoon Network shows, or Disney shows, or whatever, you should totally sub there. Okay, back on track. So, I decided to do a Thomas Minis draft of what a Phineas and Ferb collab could look like. Same rules as usual, 12 minis, and I'll show them off with what designs I came up with. So, let's just get started. So, first off, the main character of the show is Phineas. I mean, he's got top billing in the name, so obviously he's Thomas. And this is what I came up with. I think it looks pretty fine. Up next, we got his stepbrother Ferb, second in the title, and sometimes is just not included in things, but of course I'm gonna include him. And who better than Thomas's best friend Percy to play the role of Ferb? Then we have the boy's sister Candace, and really I felt like it was pretty obvious to choose Emily. Honestly, the way Emily looks and the way Candace's hair rolls, I thought it overlapped well enough. I like how this one came out, honestly. And you can't do a Phineas and Ferb anything without the most marketable character of all, Perry the Platypus, or Agent P as he's called in other medias. And I chose Duck because, well, there's a rivalry we'll get into with the next one, and also, he's rectangular like Perry, so I thought it would work. Then I think we have pretty much everyone's favorite character, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. And like I said earlier, I made him Diesel because, well, Duck and Diesel have the strongest rivalry in Thomas and Friends, as Doof and Perry do in Phineas and Ferb. Also, I just thought it would fit, because Diesel in the CGI seasons is portrayed as a pretty goofy and fun villain in the same way Doof can be. Obviously with less Nader making, of course. Up next, we have the girl next door, Isabella, and this was a no-brainer. We had to go with Rosie. Rosie has already been pink before, so that overlaps with Isabella's color, but also, it feels similar enough, you know, being obsessive over the male character. Obviously, in Rosie's case, not romantically, hopefully, but still, I think this one works. Up next is one of the boys' good friends, Buford, who is a bully, and I decided, who is the biggest bully in Thomas and Friends? Well, that isn't, like, evil. And I was like, I think that's James. I mean, have you guys seen Tale of the Brave? So, yeah, I decided James should be Buford, and yeah, I think that one works pretty well. So now we have Baljeet, the last of the Backyard Gang. Admittedly, he was the hardest one to pick a character for because, Baljeet's Indian, and I'm not sure if it would be offensive if I went with a basic British strain. Then again, it's not like the Thomas Minis line really cared about that. Blue Beetle is Mexican, and I'm pretty confident Toby's not. But I did try to keep to the roots, so I did choose Rajiv. Also, side note, I didn't even know they made Rajiv, and just looking at his minis model, this is just Emily repainted. Like, come on. But yeah, I'm gonna hope this one's okay. Alright, moving on from that, we have Doofenshmirtz's daughter, Vanessa, and I decided to go with Belle because process of elimination. There aren't a lot of girl characters to choose from. There's also no goth Thomas characters. Shocker, I know. So, Belle it is. Okay, this one I actually think translates kind of well, and that would be Norm, who I decided to use Gordon mainly for the size. Gordon's a big engine, and Norm is a giant robot, and I think it's kind of like a fun idea to throw Gordon in some suit like this, so I think this one works. Okay, for this next one, I decided Candace's best friend Stacy should also probably be in the line. And, well, kind of similar to what I said about Vanessa, this one became a process of elimination, and I went with Rebecca. I actually kind of like how this one turned out. I was actually stumped for a little while on one more character to do. Like, I was thinking Jeremy at first, but I'm like, is he that important? Then I was thinking maybe I'll do something goofy like the giant floating baby head. But then I decided on one character who I think is iconic enough and has appeared a few times, and that's Meep, who I decided to use for Skarloey because, well, he's small and Meep is small, and they're kind of authoritative figures. Yeah, that's my justification. Also, this one was like really easy because I didn't need to color it in. But yeah, this is my Phineas and Ferb Thomas Minis draft. What do you guys think? I quite enjoyed this one, though admittedly I think the Adventure Time one came out better. Mainly because I think there were just more obvious characters there. I feel like I had to stretch including certain ones, like Meep I feel like wouldn't be in this otherwise. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Also, if you've seen Phineas and Ferb, how about you tell me what's your favorite episode or your favorite song from the series? I'd love to know. Alright, now back to watching Phineas and Ferb for a video on my second channel, which you should watch. Goodbye!